Hey guys, this is Andy from The New Divide. I'm here with Jonathan and Aaron and our friend Mike DeVito from the Kansas City Chiefs. We are in his house in Bangor, Maine. Is it Bangor or Bangor?
Bangor,
Maine. Yeah,
if I'm trying to say it any other way.
Bangor, Maine is where we are today. And we are going to have coffee with Mike. We're having coffee with The New Divide in Bangor, Maine. Jonathan's going to prepare some coffee. Aaron's going to tell you about it. Jonathan will tell you what we're going to do. And then we're just going to sit and talk with Mike for a second until we have coffee to drink.
Yeah, so today for our coffee, we're going to go ahead and use Olympia Coffee Roasting Company. They're out of Olympia, Washington. We were just there about a week or so ago. We passed through there, stopped by the shop, their brand new shop actually, tried some coffee and went and got a bag. Great place. They actually won Roaster of the Year on Roaster Magazine, which is huge. We're really excited to try this. It's in Ethiopia. It's Adame Garboda. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's like right near Yirgacheffe, which is a pretty popular region. And these guys are like direct trade with the farmers, so that they really believe in making sure the sourcing of the coffee is like all direct, making sure the farmers getting paid, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's the coffee we're doing today. We're doing it
The Chemex.
with the Chemex.
I haven't done Chemex in a while.
And since we're on the road right now and we don't have our nice Bonavita, so Jonathan's making do with the big measuring cup.
Pyrex.
To burn
They were
myself
using a
on
Pyrex pour over.
Yeah,
Available at your local Walmart
this
or
is
Target.
Interesting. So I'm doing, 60 grams of coffee to like 900 and something grams of water?
Yeah.
It's a lot of water.
There's a lot more water than we'd use in like an AeroPress or something.
It's been a
we don't
while.
really do Chemex, so we're excited to try it.
Yeah.
Mike had this Chemex in his house, so we were excited to be using that.
Which is incredible. Normally I just boil some water and throw it on
Just
top.
dump it over top.
Yeah.
This is we're all learning as we travel and we try these different things. This is part of Coffee with the New Divide. Is us like learning how to make coffee better, the art behind it, the craft behind it, and just experimenting with it. But
This is really testing my skills.
this is Jonathan's shaking as he's doing it. We are super excited to get to sit with Mike today. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's number 70, right?
Enough water.
Which is also,
Cat
we don't have
can
enough
make
water.
water.
Cat's gonna get more water. This is also, that's also his Twitter name. Sorry, that's what I was gonna say. Mike DeVito 70, right?
That's right.
At Mike DeVito 70. He's a pretty
Original.
sweet Twitterer.
Yeah.
The original. So, are you from Maine? Maybe give us a little background. Where are you from?
No, I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn?
I grew up in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which is kind of a weird change, from Brooklyn to Cape Cod.
Did you like have a tough accent when you went to?
You know, we did. I did. My family did. So it was like there wasn't an Italian from Brooklyn for 100 miles in Cape Cod, so they knew they
like,
knew
you're not from here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And then I went to college at the University of
Yeah.
Maine. Met my wife up here. She's from Bangor, and her whole family's up here.
Is it Bangorians?
So
Bangorians?
Bangorians, right? So it's
Sounds
twofold.
like an alien.
Yeah, I get away from my crazy Italian family.
Yeah.
And I have her whole network of family up here for babysitters
That's
and things
awesome.
like that. So it worked out well.
Free babies.
That's right.
They have a
That's
2-year-old son. What's his name?
right. Rocco.
Rocco.
You
He's
never heard
awesome.
of a kid named Rocco getting picked on.
No. No, especially if your dad has arms as big as yours.
That's right.
I thought about measuring Jonathan's arms versus Mike's arms, but
Gosh, but the coffee making skill, which is what really matters,
yeah.
is way in your favor.
I don't know.
So,
you could probably throw me across the room.
So you are currently enrolled in school, though, you were saying. Is that something?
Yeah.
Tell us
So
about that.
I'm getting my master's degree in apologetics
Wow.
at Biola University, which is actually really cool because the NFL has some kind of player program where they they reimburse you for school.
Wow.
So it allows me to go and get my degree for free. And,
That's awesome.
yeah. So it's been really cool. It's been a blessing to kind of dive in and learn some deeper Christian theologies and doctrines, and stuff's really applicable. So I really enjoyed it.
Apologetics is tough. That's something that a lot of people get really stressed about. If you don't know what apologetics is, it's basically the art of or not the art of, but it's knowing how to defend your faith.
Right, exactly. From 1 Peter 3:15.
Yeah, be ready in season, out of season.
Right. And it's cool because I play defense on the field, so it's
You're literally a defender through and through.
That's right.
When did you get saved? When did you give your life to Christ?
So I gave my life to Christ 2006, right before I started my NFL career.
Wow.
My senior year in college, which is kind of weird. I heard a statistic that the most least likely person to get saved is an educated college male.
Especially from New England, right?
Yeah, without question. So truly a blessing.
Wow.
And it actually was really nice because it propelled me into my NFL career with a good foundation, good moral values, and obviously the Holy Spirit, which is huge.
Yeah.
300 more grams of water.
So I'm not like the biggest football knowledgeable guy, but you play on defense, correct?
Yeah, defensive line.
Just maybe tell us what you do for a second.
So my job basically is to get the quarterback. Get anybody that has the football. That's my job.
Did you get anybody good this year?
I got Peyton. I know we have some Denver fans here.
Aaron's a little hurt.
But he may have gotten Peyton, but Peyton got the Super Bowl ring.
Right. So at the end of the
Bring
day,
that up, Aaron.
Too soon.
That's a touchy subject.
when you weigh those two out, the Super Bowl ring weighs a lot more. So,
Touche.
but yeah, I got Peyton and I got Osweiler.
You're just after Denver.
It's a Denver thing. I don't get that many sacks.
That was that game when you guys were in Denver, and you guys kind of demolished us. That was a scary day. I know me and my wife, we were just like
stressed out.
We're not good. And then we went to win it, so who knows?
That's right. That's right.
So
Exactly.
who knows?
That's exactly right.
Can we ask you then maybe even about maybe some of the elements of being a believer working in that industry? Because we see Christians in the news that are playing football and are playing major sports of any kind. What maybe is some of the difficulties of being a believer, or how do you live that out daily?
Yeah, when I think about it, it was more difficult in high school and college because I felt like there was more peer pressure there, whereas like in the NFL, everybody's married with kids, and it's like there's not a lot of. But the thing that there is there's a lot of temptations. I remember my coach my rookie year in New York said, listen, you guys, you didn't get any more attractive from your senior year in college to your rookie year. So if girls like you now, it's not because all of a sudden you look good. Which is so true.
Look good overnight.
But
you already look good. So.
Well,
let's be honest.
This is a tough crowd. You can't compare me to you guys. But the blessing is it's a huge platform, and so it gives me an opportunity to sit down with guys like you and do things like this, and have a stage. Like you guys heard me preach this weekend. It wasn't very good, but it gives me an opportunity to get up there and say some stuff about Jesus. So that's been the real blessing of playing 10 years is the opportunities it gives me to bring the gospel to different people.
Do you have any moments in your career in regarding your faith that kind of solidified your faith, or that you had to kind of work through or fight through?
Yeah, football is such an interesting sport because it's got major highs and major lows. It's rare that you get into a season and everything's just kind of going steady. And so what my faith has allowed me to do is had that foundation that when things are going really good, praise God, and when things are going really bad, praise God. You know what I mean? It gives you that joy. Whereas if you're just focused on happiness throughout the season, you see guys burn out. So that joy in Christ, and again, knowing that I'm doing everything for Him and for His glory. You know what I mean? So when things are going bad, again, it's all for Christ. So it's kind of giving me the right perspective. Whereas a lot of guys, man, you see they burn out during the season. And another thing that's crazy, 75% of NFL players are broken divorced within 3 years of retiring.
Wow.
And so one of the greatest things of having Christ with football is I know that I'm not defined by football. So when I do get done, hopefully, God willing, I have a better foundation.
I'm sure.
Your identity is changed.
Yeah, exactly.
So
statistic.
I'd like to ask this is maybe anyone else that's younger that's watching that maybe happens to love football and wants to play football, or even beyond that, maybe they're a musician or something and they want to be a pro musician, whatever that means. And what would you say to them as younger, not in it yet, and maybe that is their dream? What would you say to them something that they should actually strive for, rather than striving for to be a pro NFL player, which is great.
Right.
What beyond that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I think, well, here's a couple things that helped me. I think the one thing that my father always preached to me was, be great at a few things, don't be good at a bunch of things. And so, if you want something like that, go for it. You know what I mean? And but kind of get rid of some of the side stuff and just put everything you got into that.
Right.
And then I think, obviously, again, especially nowadays, your education is kind of your backup. So whether it be football or being a musician, or make sure you have something that you can always fall back on. That if you don't get that, you have a plan B. So those are kind of it's almost like contradictory in what I'm saying, but I think it's important to sell out and go for your dreams, but also have something in case things fall through.
Yeah. Wow. A really serious question though. Would you rather be flagged on every single play, or have a really angry porcupine that lives in your house?
So here's the problem with if I'm flagged on every single play, I'll only be playing in the NFL for one game.
No, it's like that Greek mythology thing where the guy has to push the boulder up the hill every day.
So it never ends.
Yeah, it never ends. It's just super frustrating.
Oh yeah, you have a career like a 25-year contract. I don't know if they even do those.
Where you don't get paid any money.
And
then
yeah, true.
Because if I get paid money, then I'll get a flag.
Then you get a flag regardless.
I don't have to hit anybody.
Yeah, you just literally get flagged for everything.
Yeah.
Or you come home to a really angry porcupine. Or porcupine. I don't know how you say it, but.
Well, keep in mind, every fan will be mad at you.
Right.
It's true.
All the
Your
time.
guts.
Yeah.
So is the porcupine? Is he confined to a certain area, or is
Just
he
free roam of the house?
free roam of the
It's like a
house?
Jumanji type of situation.
Jeez. So I get up at night, the porcupine.
The porcupine's there. You need to go to the bathroom. The porcupine's there.
You
And he's
always-
mad.
He's
Like,
ticked.
He's mad.
He's not like a.
and he
happy
doesn't
little-
sleep or anything.
No.
You always have to worry about the porcupine.
Yeah, you won't run into him every day, but he could just like.
How long is the contract again?
I think I said a 25-year contract.
That's a long time.
People will hate
They
me.
would. They would.
They
Yeah.
probably would kill me.
You might.
I'll go with
You
the
die.
porcupine.
Porcupine?
Yeah.
Porcupine in his house. Mike DeVito. At Mike
Porcupine.
DeVito 70 says porcupine in his house.
I'd be disappointed every day though.
Yeah.
I'd get up and just be
It's
miserable.
like, oh, there's a porcupine here.
Well, I
So,
think you just get used to getting bit by the porcupine.
this cup, I don't know if you can see it, but this cup is the Kansas City Zoo cup. It's the closest thing to Kansas City
Which is
Chiefs.
actually a really
I think-
nice zoo.
And I have this. Aaron and Jonathan both have family
family
heirlooms.
Oh, this is
Be
so
careful with
cute.
those.
It was in your pajamas.
So Jonathan, it looks like we didn't have quite enough water in there just based on
Yeah.
capacity.
My fault.
So, no, that's
It's
great.
okay.
So we just now will have a little stronger coffee, but now we're just going to try this coffee and really see what
It does
Olympia-
say the notes are
Jeez, it smells great.
candied lemon peel, apricot jam, and fruity dark chocolate.
I definitely. It's pretty sweet.
That's very sweet.
It's a sweet coffee.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah, that's good. Just to note too, they actually the Olympia Coffee Company said they've invented a coffee roasting technique that they call caramelization roast. This method maximizes the sweetnesses in the coffee, and you can kind of tell.
I can tell this is like one of the sweeter coffees I've had in a while. We
Like-
brought this bag from Olympia to New England.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't really know this was a coffee. Like I would think this was something.
Yeah.
Just really
Yeah,
sweet that was
special,
served to you.
yeah.
Different kind of tea.
Some sort of cider.
Yeah. And when we were in Olympia, this place, it's like a really tiny shop, and it was kind of off the road or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, we're stopping in Olympia, like on the way home, and I'll try this shop or whatever. And it was like one of the best pour overs
Yeah.
I've ever had.
Top
It was
This is
so good.
unbelievable.
Top notch.
But I'm gonna have to continue to rewind this podcast to see how
Just
you
to
did
see
it.
like
Well,
Because I can't just boil it and pour it over.
yeah,
there.
we're gonna have to get you a gooseneck first, so it's a
Yeah.
little easier to
Yeah.
pour. But yeah, it's
that was delicious. For
This is unbelievable. You guys are leaving the bag, right?
That's done. We're going to get on a plane tomorrow to Denmark, so there'll be plenty of good coffee there.
You guys got to send pictures
Yeah.
and let me know what's going on. That
Done.
sounds awesome.
Done.
So everyone, make sure you just go check out Olympia Coffee Roasters.
No question. This is definitely worth
Go
it.
follow this guy on Twitter
Yeah.
if you like football. If you don't like football, go follow this guy on Twitter.
Is there any other questions that either of you would have? You're sitting in an NFL player's house drinking coffee.
I've got a question. Do you want to arm wrestle?
Let's do it.
I'm gonna. This is stressful.
Let me get another sip of coffee.
Yeah, so you guys see how small my arms are.
We gotta go right on.
Yeah.
This is my stream.
Okay.
All right.
Somebody call it.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3, go.
You're not even trying. Come on.
I'll be here to catch your arm when he breaks it.
Oh God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Shea, he plays guitar. He
For the new divide.
He just beat
I need another sip of coffee.
Yeah, that's just the coffee. You didn't have enough.
Get some of
Didn't have
this.
enough. Is there anything you would ask a rock band sitting at your kitchen?
That is a great question.
Give me a little-
Yeah.
So I gotta imagine all the things that come along with what people think a rock band is. How do you guys avoid the temptations in kind of that world? Because I can even imagine on the Christian scene,
Yeah.
it gets wild.
That's a great question. For me personally, I'm married. I've been married for 12 years. And so temptation obviously comes up and the opportunity to make bad decisions come up. But it really, I think, comes down to doing everything on purpose every day. And I'm really lucky in that, honestly, it's really hard to put yourself into an environment where you could make a bad choice when you're with so many people
Right.
at all times.
Right.
We work together, we travel together, we're always together. So
Yeah, if
there's a
somebody's
level of
not there, we're like,
accountability.
hey, where's that person?
Right. So you guys
We're
hold each
missing
other
one.
accountable.
There's an
Yeah.
accountability just by relationship that occurs, I think,
Yeah.
that maybe even in your world wouldn't happen because not everybody that you're interacting with every hour of the day
Right.
is like that. But it does come down to making right decisions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Because
And-
no matter what you do as a job or
Yeah.
like that, those temptations are kind of all there,
Right.
honestly, and that's
Yeah.
the way I kind of see it. Is if I go get normal 9 to 5, honestly, those temptations are gonna be there. They're gonna be the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I mean, we are, like you said, blessed to. I've gotten to surround myself with amazing people that all see the same thing, believe the same thing,
Yeah.
have the same vision, and so that allows me to have kind of that strength of like the people around me as well, and not just relying on myself. And I have a supportive wife that is always like she's holding me accountable.
Right.
Right.
So
That's
the people you
awesome.
surround yourself with is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the big difference for me between this and like a regular job is this actually has a goal and a mission. And so where a regular job is just like get sales numbers every day or
Right,
get,
right, no
your
question.
quota.
That's a
And
good
ours is like, okay, did we really influence these people in a good way, and did we really help out in this situation? And it's a better mindset, and if you kind of keep that in your head, it really helps.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was just thinking about that verse where even Jesus says that, if you look after a woman, just in your heart or in your mind, you've already committed adultery. You've already lusted.
Right.
If
Right.
you do it with your head. And so it really comes down to us knowing how to take our thoughts captive. Like seeing like a beautiful woman isn't when the sin occurs. It's when you allow that to manifest itself in a sinful nature. Like you can go, oh, she's pretty. Oh, I need to take my thoughts captive from henceforth.
Right.
And so it really comes down to just being intentional and living on purpose, I think.
And really
That's awesome.
using the word henceforth.
Henceforth.
Yeah.
Henceforth.
Let's just appreciate that word for a second. It's really just a good one.
I'm gonna
That
live here
is-
using that
Yeah.
Going-
consistently.
Yeah.
We'll be leaving your house henceforth.
Henceforth.
Henceforth. And forevermore.
Sounds King James.
Yeah.
version.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Coming up with new material, like what is the process to come up with a new song?
Okay.
Because we're we're a rock and roll band, we're also a worship band. We kind of do both parts. So I actually we'll write. I kind of do like every year. It's like rock and roll this year. Next year I'll start writing like a worship record, and I kind of view both of them a little bit different each time. The worship is intended for other people to really join in and be a part. Like congregational worship at church and things like that.
Right.
So I do have to view that as like I can't just write things that don't make sense in a setting of it. And so I really take the time to be all my lyrics come like biblically backed,
Yeah.
but then really diving in with the Holy Spirit and saying, all right, like help guide me in these lyrics, because I don't want them to just be for either me or just to be on a record, because I
Right.
don't care to just make another record. I really care to make something that can allow people to enter into the kingdom. And now on the rock and roll end, it's a little different because it's geared for the ability to create a show where people, they just have to look, and then we get to present the gospel. So at that point, I'm not too worried. Like the last record, I like to put in like funny words that I wouldn't normally. Like mustard seed. I somehow wrote that into a song, in a rock and roll song, and I was like, yeah, that's super awesome.
Henceforth.
And henceforth is the next word after the record. And so honestly, I get this question a lot from younger musicians is, well, how do you get through those days where you're not inspired? That's a thing you just learn. Like there was one day at the end, I was kind of getting towards the end of writing this last record, and I was like, I need one more song, and like I need it now. And so basically, I sat that day and like my wife Kat like left the room for a while and then came back up, and I was like, yeah, I got this new song. She's like, okay. That was like a couple hours, and I just powered through it, and God willing, He gave us a new song.
I always look to John Foreman, who writes more songs than anyone in existence, and he apparently writes a song every single day. And that's just like what some songwriting mentors have told me is that if you it's like a muscle. If you keep repetition with it, then you'll just get better at it eventually. Yeah,
dude, that's a repetition.
There you go,
guys. Thanks for listening to Coffee with the New Divide. We'll see you next time.